Hello, 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 and welcome to another healthy conversation with Dr. K. I am your host, Dr. Katina Harris, and I'm so delighted that you are joining me today. Listen, let me ask you a question. How much does unforgiveness weigh? I'm not talking about pounds on a scale. I'm talking about the weight of betrayal, the weight of disappointment, the weight of anger, the weight of resentment, the weight of old wounds that many men and women carry for years. Some men are carrying hurts from childhood. Some are carrying pain from relationships. Some are carrying disappointment from fathers who were absent. Some are carrying regret from mistakes that they wish they could undo. And what if carrying that emotional weight affects more than your relationships? What if it affects your sleep, your stress levels, your blood pressure, your peace, your physical health, and your mental health? Well, as I said, this is Dr. K, and this is another episode of A Healthy Conversation with Dr. K. Today, we're discussing the weight that men carry: forgiveness, health, and healing. This is still Men's Health Month, and we just celebrated Father's Day, so we are still focusing on men's health. So let's start with an important truth. Forgiveness is not saying that whatever happened was okay. Forgiveness is not pretending that you were not hurt and that the hurt didn't happen. Forgiveness is not giving someone permission to keep hurting you. And forgiveness does not mean reconciliation is always appropriate. Forgiveness is choosing not to allow a past injury to continue controlling your future. Sometimes forgiveness is less about the other person, it's more about freeing yourself. So, what does research tell us, Dr. K, about forgiveness or unforgiveness? So, let's talk a little bit about the science behind this. Research has linked chronic anger, hostility, and rumination. You know, rumination is that tendency to just keep replaying hurt and offenses over and over. That's rumination. So research has linked that anger, hostility, and rumination to increased stress and poor health outcomes. Research has also found that there is association between chronic anger and elevated blood pressure and increased stress hormone activity, poor sleep, and greater emotional distress. Forgiveness interventions have also been researched, and they've been associated with improvements in anxiety, depression, and your overall emotional well-being. Research from leading forgiveness scholars has helped to establish the fact that forgiveness is an important area of study in psychology, but we also talk about it when it comes to our faith. Notice what the research says, though. It doesn't say forgiveness magically cures disease, but it does suggest that holding on to this emotional distress can take a toll on your total well-being. And many men were taught, men carry pain differently. So they're taught things like don't cry, don't complain, don't talk about your feelings, keep it moving, and stay strong. And while resilience is very valuable, emotional suppression is not the same thing as healing. Many men never process the hurt. They simply just bury it. And buried pain often shows up differently. It may appear as you just a little bit more irritable. Yes, irritability. It shows up as irritability. It shows up as anger. It shows up as emotional distance. It can show up as workaholism. It can show up as withdrawal. It can show up as sleep problems. And it can show up as strained relationships. It shows up many ways in our lives. And give me a minute here to make sure we are on do not disturb. Yes, all right. Some men are avoiding healing because they don't care. Some men may be avoiding healing because they were never taught how. It's not that they don't care, it's that they just weren't taught how to heal. So, going back to this stress thing, stress, in fact, affects the entire body. So, when we're continually replaying offenses, we're continually reliving the betrayal that we experienced, and we remain emotionally activated. The body stays in a prolonged stress response. So you are continually being chased by the bear, and the bear is not even here anymore. And what does this do to us? In our sleep, we're running from the bear, so it affects our sleep quality. It affects your blood pressure because when you're running, your blood pressure is elevated. It affects concentration because you can't think straight when you're running from a bear. You're just focused on what you're focused on. You focus on the pain. It affects your emotional regulation. If you're running from a bear, you're in a heightened emotional state. And it affects your energy level because if you're constantly running from a bear, you're going to get tired. And this is one reason I constantly remind you. Your physical health affects your mental health. But guess what? Your emotional health affects both. And sometimes the burden isn't what happened. Sometimes the burden is carrying what happened for decades. So I want to ask you a very difficult question. Who do you still need to forgive? Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's your former spouse. Maybe it's your child, or your sister or brother, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, a family member. Maybe it was your best friend. Maybe it was your coworker, your boss, someone who betrayed you. Someone betrayed your trust. Maybe it was a religious leader. Maybe it's yourself. Because sometimes the person receiving the least grace is the person that's staring back at us in the mirror. And healing often begins when we are operating in honesty. We have to be honest with ourselves. So I want to be totally clear. Forgiveness is powerful. But forgiveness alone doesn't automatically restore your health. Letting go of these emotional burdens is important. But healing also requires intentionally building yourself back up. Many men spend years carrying stress and anger, disappointment, resentment, and responsibility. And while we're working on releasing those emotional burdens, we also need to support the body that has been carrying them. Research shows that chronic stress, as I said, is going to affect all these different things: your sleep, your energy, your digestion. I forgot about that digestion, your concentration, inflammation, blood pressure, emotional well-being. And when those effects accumulate over time, they affect you both physically and mentally. That's your physical health and your mental health. That's why healing isn't just about what we release emotionally. It's also about how we support ourselves physically. Because around here we believe, what do we believe, Dr. K? We believe that your physical health affects your mental health, and your emotional health affects both. That's why I encourage people to focus on proper nutrition, movement, sleep, supportive relationships, stress management, and wellness routines to help them care for the entire body that they live in every day. So when life puts demands on us physically and emotionally, supporting the body becomes important. So that's when I turn to these amazing Artist Life products. Now, these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease, but they are part of a proactive wellness lifestyle designed to support your overall well-being. Lviv Red contains an antioxidant-rich blend with noni, goji, mangosteen, acai berry, and pomegranate. And these antioxidants, they help support the body's defense against the oxidative stress and all the damage that you've been putting on your body by holding on to this resentment. Healthy aging requires intentional support, and many men spend years taking care of everyone else. Lviv Red is one way to become more intentional about taking care of yourself. Then we have Lviv Green. Lviv Green focuses on your digestive health and your nutritional wellness. It includes ingredients like aloe vera, milk thistle, artichoke, and other plant-based ingredients commonly associated with what? Gut health, digestive support. Many people notice that when their stress increases, their digestive health suffers. Some people may say, oh, I can't take much. If when I get stressed out, I have to go to the bathroom. Or when I get stressed out, I can't go to the bathroom. That's affecting your digestive wellness. And that's why supporting your digestive health can be a very important part of your overall wellness strategy. Healthy fathers need what? A healthy foundation. Then I have the Pure Noni. Pure Noni has become one of my favorite products to discuss when we're talking about whole body wellness. Noni has been around for centuries, and it's been traditionally used and widely recognized because of its properties that help with vitality and help with strength. It helps with healing, and it helps with pain. So many people use this as a proactive part of their health and wellness regimen, because feeling your best helps you to show up. How? Show up as your best. When you feel good, you show up, letting the world know, I feel good. That Pure Noni, awesome for pain. Then we have Lviv Yellow. It's a powerful blend of 11 vitamins and 8 minerals. That's going to give you your daily nutrition, and many adults are undernourished even when we're overfed. Notice what I said. I said they are undernourished even when they are overfed. So having the proper nutrition is one of the foundations for long-term wellness. When your body is properly nourished, you are better equipped to handle the demands that you face every day, like work, family, leadership, and just life. So you want to get that Lviv Yellow. And I know some of us are starting out every morning with our cup of joe. You're starting every morning with a cup of coffee. I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking coffee. I'm going to tell you to do what? Upgrade your coffee to that 7-in-1 cappuccino. This allows you to combine your existing habits. It's a daily habit to get that cup of coffee. You're going to incorporate that into a wellness focused routine, because we have our 7 mushrooms and herbs. And when you consistently incorporate a wellness routine and regimen, then you begin to experience better health. Healthy habits practiced daily produce the greatest long-term results. Everyday habits. And let's not forget physical support. We talked about nutritional support for men. We're going to talk about physical support. So how are we going to support them physically? With this amazing abdomen shirt. It gives you abdominal support for your back. It's going to support that lower back, give you that posture support. Make sure men are sitting upright, and that they're not only their back and spine is in alignment and supported, but that abdominal region, that midsection is supported as well. Many men spend many years, they're working these physically demanding jobs, or maybe they're sitting behind a desk, or maybe they're driving trucks, or maybe they're serving in ministry, or maybe they're caring for families, but they have these physically demanding roles. So supporting the body structurally can help them move through the day with greater confidence and comfort. So here's what I want every man listening today to understand. The goal is not to simply live longer. The goal is to live better. You don't want to just age, you want to age well, to have that energy to enjoy your family, to have the health to enjoy retirement, to have the strength to continue serving your purpose, and to have the wellness to be fully present for the people who matter the most. Forgiveness may help to lighten the emotional weight that you're carrying, but intentional wellness helps strengthen the person who's carrying it. Because healing isn't just about what you release, it's about what you intentionally build also. So if you're ready to become more intentional about your health and wellness journey, I want you to visit my website at artist.com/harriswellness. And there you can learn more about the products I mentioned today: the Lviv Red, Lviv Green, Lviv Yellow, the Pure Noni, and 71 Cappuccino, and the men's abdomen shirt. Why? Because healing isn't just about what you release. I can't say it enough. It's also about what you intentionally build, and one healthy decision at a time can change the future that you're creating. Your family deserves a healthy version of you, and so do you. I want to leave every man listening with this thought. Strength is not pretending that you were never hurt. Strength is not carrying pain forever. Strength is not suffering in silence. Strength is having the courage to heal. One of the greatest gifts a man could ever give his family is not perfection, it's healing. Because hurt gets passed down. But healing can get passed down too. We talked about this a few weeks ago. If your children see you model forgiveness, they learn forgiveness. If they see you model bitterness, guess what? They learn bitterness. If they see you model healing, they learn healing. So today, I challenge you. Don't just ask who hurt you. Ask whether you're ready to stop carrying the weight. This has been another Healthy Conversation with Dr. K. I am Dr. Katina Harris, reminding you that your physical health affects your mental health, and you can have overall well-being. Also, remember to stay strong, stay healthy, and keep healing naturally with Artist Life products. We look forward to seeing you next week for another Healthy Conversation with Dr. K.